Hey everybody, this is Tina with Rehatched Designs, and we're here with part 2 of our grungy, shabby Christmas journal. And I thought I had said it in the last video, but the papers I'm using are Golden Christmas from Calico Collage, and they're really beautiful. So, and it works for what I'm trying to do. I don't want it overly colorful. I want a lot of golden tones, and then red mainly, and a little green. That's it. Okay, so we have a lot to do in this video. A lot. So I am going to do my best to kind of get it to where I stop the video and finish things and then come back on. That, you know, I'll show you how to do it, and that way you're not sitting through the whole process. But we're at the point now where we're going to get our papers ready. You should have, what did I do with that? Let me get that up here. It's up here. Done your homework, if you're doing it with me. Let me get this out of the way. This is what our envelope looks like, okay? And I did mine over a couple times, and I put quite a bit of vintage photo and some walnut stain on here, okay? So that's how that looks. And then this is our cover. I sewed around it, okay? And then I put the... and this is from Patricia Viramontes. I don't remember the name of her channel. It might be the same thing. This Patty Pocket stain on here, and the feel of it is really cool. All I did is put vintage. I put walnut stain on the edges, and then a little vintage photo here, just to kind of make it look a little roughed up. And then I didn't really do anything on the inside because this was coffee dyed. I just put a little bit of stain around the edges, and I just sewed a zigzag stitch around it. When you get these mailers, the inside has these little white styrofoam pellets. If they're sticking out at all, I left one purposely. Just take a little pointy tool or something. You can take your awl even, and it'll come right out. You can just dig that little thing right out. It's not stuck in there or anything, and it just comes out on the edge, and then you won't even see it. And when you ink it, they're all gone. I had some, and you can't see them. Okay, so anyway, it does have that really cool feel. The reason mine's kind of squished up like this is I kind of scrunched it a little bit before I put the ink on it, because I wanted it to look, you know, a little worn. Anyway, so I did that, and then, what happened to my other one? There it is. I have, this was one of the digitals, and it's meant for the cover, and I'm going to use this for this cover, and then I'm going to use this on here, okay? So that's going to go here, and that's going to go here, okay? But we're going to do more to it than just stick it on there, of course. And I have some red paper that I'm going to use with it, and some music paper, and we'll do that in a little bit. I'm also going to alter this a little and add just a little bit to it. Now, we're going to put all kinds of stuff on this, and I am not sure that we will get to that today. I thought about it, and I thought we may have to get to decorating the cover, and I'll do it on my Fun Friday, because there's nothing to me that's more fun. And my Fun Friday isn't about anybody else having fun but me. I know, I hope you have fun along with me, but it's about me doing something I just really enjoy. Anyway, so we may have to do the decorating the cover on Fun Friday, because there's just too much that we have to get to. Believe it or not, there's a lot that goes into grungy, okay? There's a lot that goes into it. I mean, to me, it's easier just to put a regular journal and not grungy it up. At least the way that I do it. Okay, so the papers I'm going to use on this, I had already said, I have some coffee dyed paper that's kind of grungy, and this is the legal side. I make all of my coffee dyed papers, no matter what I'm using them for. I use legal size paper, and I do it for kind of the reasons you're going to see in a minute, so that if I want to tear them and make them a certain size, I have a lot to work with. This is the notebook paper that I've done, and it was one of my grungier ones, so I'll be using that. I've got a pretty grungy ledger sheet. I'll put that in there. And then I've already done some of these, because this is what we're going to do today. And I've done this on my channel before, but we're going to go ahead and do them just so that you can kind of get an idea. This is kind of gessoed and sprayed, and it doesn't have any real color in it other than just the little spray. And that spray is really, it's a latte spray by Ranger, and it's alcohol ink, and I mix it with alcohol. It's pretty diluted, but that's what I use for that. And then this is embossing up here, and this is just it's a little less spray. This has a little bit more to it in the background, and I'm going to show you how to do that. This is basically just gessoed and sprayed and then stenciled with some texture paste. Here's another one, here's another one, and then here's another one. Okay, so I'll show you quickly how to do that. We're going to use 2 of these bags, but we're not going to leave them just the way they are. We'll do something with that, with these doilies. And then this is the paper that I use whenever I'm coffee dyeing my papers. I always put a baking sheet underneath the tray. And this is what, I love this when they come out. Isn't that great? So, anyway, so we're going to use that in the journal. And then I did some, remember I told you I had that paper that you can just buy that looks old, and I did some stamping on that. And we'll do, this one I didn't stamp on it because I thought it had enough character. These I did. And so I just did a little of that. And so that is pretty much going to be what we put in the journal, okay? But I'm not going to have you watch me do the cutting, because these are basically already the right size. And then I'm going to cut that down. These are the right size. And I'll cut that down and cut these down. But I'm going to show you what I do with that, okay? And this. All right, I'm going to leave that out. Put those up. Our things have dried, and I think they turned out great. The thing you got to realize when you do these, if you have leftover stuff, great. I get these little, I guess they're baking sheets. I don't know what they are. Oh, they're cutting boards. That's what they are. They come 2 to a pack at the dollar store, and I use them for this. I will just basically keep these on there until I need them, okay? So, because they come right off of this. I mean, it'll just come right off, okay? Now, you have to use glue when you're putting them down, but anyway, we'll use those later, okay? But they turned out fine. And first, what we're going to do, I'm going to put that aside, is I'm going to show you how we get these down to size. So we are going to go ahead, and on these, we're going to use our tear ruler. And I want to get these, let me see if I can, what did I do with that other one? I'm just going to use this as kind of a template so I know. And I'm just going to eyeball it. Let me move this out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. This is the one that has the lined paper, and here's the middle. I don't think it'd be the end of the world if you didn't get it in the middle, but I'm going to do this. Okay. So this is the size of the paper that we want, and I'm going to put that up to the top. I mean, I could measure it, but there's no, you know, oops, I just moved it. I'm going to put that right up to the top. Okay. And they don't have to be perfect. That's kind of the point. And I'm just going to line this up with my paper. Oops, that's okay. That tore a little bit bad, and that's actually a good thing. I'm going to do the other side. All right, and then I'm going to do the bottom. Now you could tear them a lot more haphazard than this if you want. This is going to not be, I always say these, trust me, you'll use them for something. Okay, and I'm going to leave that on there like, well, actually I think I'm going to make it a bigger tear is what I'm going to do. And I tear the ends a little bit, because I don't want them to be perfect. Okay. All right, and then what I'll do is here, that's in half. So that's going to give me my paper. And I'll put that aside because I will ink all these with, this I'll probably use Vintage Photo. I'm using 3 different colors. I'm using Vintage Photo and Walnut Stain, and then also Ground Espresso, but I'm using the Ground Espresso mainly for the stamping. Okay, that is the wrong one. That goes there. I was thinking that's awfully dark. It's not as dark as, you know, that goes on there. I knew it was the wrong one, because the color was like, I don't know, that color is really dark. Okay. And so I'm not going to ink all these in front of you, but basically that's what you're going to end up with. And then, here, make sure you get up here. If you want to add more color on there than that's already naturally there, you could go back in and add more. And you know, this isn't to everybody's liking, so I get it. You know, when there's some people don't like this, so that's fine. All right, so that to me is perfect, okay? That's absolutely perfect. And so that would go in your pile of ready to go. Where's my pile of ready to go? There it goes. Now here's my coffee dyed papers, and what I'm going to do with those is the same thing, but I'm going to use this again. And I like my, you know, my messed up edges, so I'll probably leave a lot of that in, okay? But I'm just doing this to kind of ballpark size it, so, you know, and I don't care if they're exactly straight. It doesn't bother me at all. And you could use, I have other tear rulers, but I do it with this first, and if I want it torn more, then I just, you know, I just tear it the way I want it, because I like having some control. Okay. So that is already done. I'm not going to ink it, and if you want to tear it more, you tear it more. So we'll do that all the way across. Now see, this one, see how grungy that is? I want that side, so I'm going to leave it, and I probably am just going to tear that by hand. I think I will, because I don't want to lose all that. I want to have that in there, as much of it as I can, because it's kind of nice and crispy and burnt. Okay, so I'm going to leave that, and then I'm just going to use this side as my guide. and do that. And so that way I have that really grungy piece on there. I like that, okay? And I have this side, and see, I like that marbling a lot, so when I do, but then I've got burnt over here. I hope we get to keep a lot of that. We'll just do this. Yeah, I think we will. So I'll take that. I do want that torn though, so let's see. You have to have enough to tear, so that's the thing. I just kind of pick the best spots on here, and I just kind of tear it to get what I want out of it. Okay, so this one, I'm gonna have to go right to the edge here. Hopefully I can get that out up there. No, that's okay. If it tears weird, that's good. That's a good thing, not a bad thing. And then remember, we'll ink up all those edges. Those over there. Okay, so that one is perfect. So we'll put that over there. And I'll do a little bit more inking, maybe in some other spots also. Okay, now this one, I'm hoping I can get 2 out of this, and I think I can. So let's see if I do this. All right, I'm gonna have to figure out, I don't wanna, that will come all the way down to there. So I'm gonna tear this right here. I think that'll work. All right, so then I'm going to do this. And like I said, you can measure it if you want to. I just don't see a need. So this works out fine because I'm not trying to make it exact. But let's see, that came off a little weird, so I'm probably going to go in with my fingers and just tear that a little bit, and it'll be weird. And that's fine. And then it's a little long, so I've got to tear that. Okay. All right, and then there we go. And then of course I'll ink around that and tear it more if I want to. So that will be a beautiful page, right? So do this one. Now I want to keep the best. The reason I use the paper is it kind of gives me an idea of what pieces I can tear off and how much, I need to get the, I don't want too much white in there. Okay, that'll work. And then, so, well, I hope everyone is having a good Thanksgiving. If you see this, it's going to be on Thursday. I have filmed both of these 1 and 2 the same day. I had a horrible time. It's very late uploading video because I had technical difficulties, and it was so frustrating because I thought I was going to have an early night and get up tomorrow and clean the house, and oh my gosh. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead. This will be out on Thursday. I won't be doing it on Thursday. Friday I might actually do on Friday, but we shall see. If I don't do it Friday, then I'll do it sometime, probably during the weekend. Okay, that is really weird. Okay, there we go. There we go. I just didn't have it lined up on there right. Okay. Okay. So now we have all those pages, and I am going to just show you real quick what I did on the other pages, just on 2 of them. Oh, I forgot. I was going to do these real quick too. What did I do? What did I do? Here we go. Let me show you this. Okay, so on these bags, all I did is, you know, there's the bag part here. I just took my pinking shears and cut this side open, so it'll be open on both sides. I have this side and that side. Well, hopefully I cut it enough. Maybe I didn't. Let me see. Okay, it's open. Anyway, so you have both sides, and then I inked around the edges. And now what I'm going to do, I don't think I inked right here though. And I was using the ground espresso on this because it has black on it, and it's kind of dark. And also, I just took some and just kind of went around the edges a little bit. I didn't want it to look like a brand new bag, right? And here a little bit. You get the idea, right? Do that. And then what I'm going to do is I have this doily that I copy dyed that's pretty grungy. And rather than just put the doily in there, I'm going to put the doily on here. 50-50, or try and do it 50-50. Let's see. So that's the middle. And that way you have like some writing space on here, and then it's decorative. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, where's my glue stick? Hopefully this works. I'm going to put some glue, oops, on my hand, because the doily is very delicate, and I don't want to, hopefully that'll be enough glue. This glue stick's pretty good. Alright, and then I can put glue here where it doesn't fall apart. Maybe a little bit right there. Well, okay. Let's do that side. I'd do the whole thing, but then I think my glue stick would dry. Okay, it doesn't have to be exact, but you know. So there we go on that. And then on this side, well, it's gonna be hard to do that way. I'll just do it on here. Just when you do a doily, you get all that glue everywhere, and I'm just, ugh. I usually do use a glue stick though. And I use this glue stick, this Scotch permanent glue, and I know I've said it if people have watched, because I really, really like it, and I've tried a lot of other glues, and it doesn't come undone later, so. Okay, so there we go. So that is our decorated bag. I'm not going to do anything on the inside of it, you know, but there we go. Got a couple of pieces right here that are coming up. Put that down. All right, so that's one. Where'd my pile go? Over there. Okay, and then this one is a round doily, and I'm gonna just do the same thing, really. I mean, nothing too complicated. These are crispy, so you know, like when I do my coffee dyed papers, I do a pile. I just put a pile in there, and the ones on the bottom turn out real grungy, and then the ones on top don't. And so anyway, I think that's about half right there. It needs more glue for sure, I can tell. Maybe this would have been the better way to do it rather than get my hand all sticky. Okay. that does work a good trick for die cuts, though. You know how you can't get glue on the die cut, especially if you're going to use other glue. Come on. Anyway, so that's basically how I'm going to do those two, okay? And so I'm going to put that in the done pile. I might have to touch it up a little bit, but you get the gist. Okay, so here is my other paper that I had. And the one thing that I did first is I took my distress tool. You can do this with your scissors too. You just take your scissors and go like this, okay? And it works just as good. It's just a little easier. And I'm just going to distress this, okay, a little bit all the way around. I already did some, so you wouldn't have to watch. Okay, and then all I do on this, on the lighter the paper, the lighter the distress ink, I'm using Vintage Photo. And I'm just going to take this and go, that thing keeps flying over here. Well, the thing that, the noise, if you watch the other video, was my shower curtain. I have it's like a Jack and Jill bath, so I have the sink portion here, and then I have the door open in the bathroom. There's nobody upstairs where I'm at. That's why it's spooky, okay? Nobody up here. My husband was downstairs with the dogs, and it fell down, so that was that loud noise. But you know, nobody was in there, so I don't know. It just fell. And then something else fell off my shelf. I wasn't touching it, so I don't know what that was all about. And I had something that had fallen earlier. Okay, so I use these brushes. These work great for like just kind of shadowing in the corners a little bit and stuff. And you don't want to overwhelm it, so you kind of just go like that. And even though these papers are made to look old, it kind of is cool to go in the corners a little bit and do that. Just kind of go around, give them a little bit more age, where they would be naturally aged, okay? And if you miss some spots, go in there with it, okay? Now, after you do that, I stamped on the other ones because our coffee dyed papers, I'm not going to do anything to them. I'm going to leave them kind of blank because they're really marbleized and stuff. But on these, I thought what I would do is some stamping. And this stamp I know I got on AliExpress. And I think this one, or I might have, I don't know. I didn't keep the package. Look at that. I've got little glitter flakes in there. Oh boy, how did that happen? Oh well. So I'm going to use these two, and I showed you this one from Tim Holtz. I'm going to use that. What does this say? I don't know. It's called Faded Type. And then this other one, I don't know what it was called, and it is a Tim Holtz stamp. And I looked for the package. I couldn't find it. It has all of these really cool, I don't know what you would call those. We'll be using those too, but those are what I'm going to use on in the embossing. So I'll put those off to the side. The stamping, I'm going to mainly use these, and then the Faded Type. Okay, so the color, my new color of choice that I like to use is ground espresso for my stamping on here, because it's kind of a brownish grayish color, and it's really cool. I love using it for that. Now if I'm doing something that I'm going to have to put spray on or something later, and I use StazOn or something like that, but this works fine for that. I'm going to ink it up a little bit, and I don't care if it's perfect. That's kind of the idea, for it not to be. And I will just take this and and I never put it straight on hardly, and I'll put some over there, maybe put some here. Maybe put a little over there. Maybe put a little bit more. And then as it gets lighter, I go toward the middle. I usually do lighter in the middle because I figured that's probably where you'd be writing, okay? And if you want to on that, you can put some of these other ones just to give it some, you know, just something different. So it's not all the same on there, just in little spots maybe. You know, just a little bit, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, that to me looks kind of cool. So we can do the other side maybe with some other stamps here. This one kind of has like some blotches on it and some script behind it. And I really like this one. I think it's kind of cool, but wish I could tell you where I got it, but I've had it forever. So before I started doing this, I never thought about, you know, keeping the packages and things. So anyway, and you can see it has like those little splotches on it. I think I need more right there. That needs more ink, I think. But it's really in a way to, you know, it's light enough that you can certainly write on this page. And you want to, you know, not be too heavy-handed. Okay, so there's that. And then we're going to use that Tim Holtz one. This is has kind of a cool effect. So I'm going to do that just kind of right here, a little bit off the page there. And I kind of do the bigger stamps usually. Okay, so that's it, that one. And then that's that one. And you know, I think that adds a lot of interest to it. And you've taken something that, well, I guess I could have gone this way. Oh well, they're kind of all mixed up. It'll be fine. So anyway, that's what I do on those. And then on these other ones, this is one of the pages we're putting in there. And I could have just printed the lined paper on the back or the whatever. But you know, to me, that's kind of generic. And I don't mind using digitals, but I need to make them my own. Remember I said I didn't want to get the ink all over my hands? I gave up on that. I kind of want to make these my own. I don't want to, you know, just generically do it. So that's why I do all this other stuff a lot of times. So anyway, so what I'm going to do on this is I'm going to take some white gesso, and I use this gesso. Any gesso will work. White paint doesn't exactly work the same. It doesn't have quite the texture in it. So anyway, this little thing, I got this, a whole set of these little dealies. Where did I get them at? I don't know. I got them at the dollar store. It was a whole set of, not just those, all different kinds. And I use this stuff all the time, and it was $1. So anyway, you can use a credit card. I use this because it's easier to handle. And I just take some gesso and just kind of blob it on. Here, I was going to put some paper under that so I don't make a huge mess. That way I don't have to do this. See, that's what you don't want to do. Wipe that off. It's not a big deal if you get some on the other side. There is a fix to that. Here I am trying to be neat, and I'm just making things worse. I'll just do that again. Once it gets down on the other paper, you got to be careful because it'll just, oh, I don't want to use that one. I'm going to use that actually. I have extra papers up here just for this, so, but they're stuck together. Okay, here we go. So anyway, I just take this And I put it all over, and I just kind of scrape it across. And you don't want it on thick, but you don't want lines either. And you kind of just smush it down and go like that. And you know, a little goes a long way. You're just trying to put a base of this down, and you'll see why in a little bit. And some people just put some like right in the middle and do that, but there's a whole process in making this texture. And you know, see those splotches like that? I love those. And go like that, you know, just kind of like that. All right. And it doesn't matter if you get every little spot. It's not going to make any difference. In fact, it probably adds some interest to it. You don't want it on too thick though. That's the big thing, because it'll take forever to dry. And you also want to be able to write on it, because this is going to be a writing surface. Not all of it, but okay. Oop, I broke my thing. Oh, I broke it. I have to buy another one. I have more, but still, I got a little too rough with it, I think. All right, so anyway, you do that, and I'll let that dry. It does not take long to dry. Gesso dries very quickly. Okay, so then let me move this out of the way so that I can do the next one. I'm going to move that over there. Okay, so this is just the line paper, but I didn't want to just put the line paper on the other paper because that'd be just too easy. But this one I'm going to do a little bit different, okay? This one I'm going to kind of ink up and then put the gesso on and then put something. It's going to have a little bit more layers, so it's going to be interesting. Okay, so this is my latte spray. It may have some ginger in there too. I don't remember. When I mix it up, I put different colors, and it's alcohol ink mixed with alcohol. And then I have it in this bottle that does drop. So I'm going to put that in, and it's kind of blotchy, mixed blotches. Okay. And then, let me get some of this off the edges. Then, I'm not going to wipe any of that up. I'm just going to let it puddle everywhere. Oh, let me put the top on this. We're not going to use that for a little bit. Okay, then I'm going to take some of my vintage photo. Where'd my sponge go? And I am just going to, where I had that other sponge. Where did it go? Well, I guess I must have did something with it. Whoever's walking around, that ghost in my house, that's who's taking all my stuff, don't you think? All right, well, I don't have that sponge. Take something like, and this is what we're going to use the bubble wrap for. Take the bubble wrap and just kind of go like that. And I do it while it's still wet. You just want little spots on there, here and there. Not necessarily the round spots. And just kind of smush them around. And I know it looks terrible. I know it does. Okay, where'd my other sponge go? My sea sponge that I had. I don't know what I did with it. It's around. It's wherever my punch is that I can't find. And you're just going to do that. And then take, where did that other one go? I can't find it. Oh my gosh. You can take this, go around the edges. All right, you want those blotches on there because you'll see what happens later. And this, the cool thing about using alcohol ink instead of just regular, you know, like coffee and water or something, is because it dries really fast. So then you can get on to the next part. You don't have to, you know. Okay. Whew. And then take your, and I like to use the larger letters, not the smaller ones. Which one was I going to use? Okay. I don't know where the other one went to either. I'm telling you, I'm losing stuff. And I'm using the ground espresso again. And then you're going to just kind of put that in different spots, you know, throughout. If you want to. You don't have to. I mean, obviously, you can do whatever you want. Okay. We're going to do more to this later, so. Right. And then, the thing is, you're not going to see most of this. We're doing all this, and you're not even going to see it. Okay. And then, here's some numbers. We can put them on there if you want to. Right. All right, I know it looks like a hot mess. It really does. It's gonna look worse, okay? Honestly, it's gonna look worse. Okay, so now we're gonna take our little thing again, and we have all that on there, and we're gonna take our little spatula, and it's not even dry all the way, but it's dry enough. That's why that alcohol ink works really well. And I'm gonna take my gesso, and I'm gonna do the same thing I did with the other ones, but I'm gonna cover most everything we just did. Okay. All right. Okay. Here we go. And I'm putting just a light coat, but you see how it covers a lot? You don't want to completely cover it. You want to be able to see through it. You don't want lines. You can go shorter strokes and smush it down. But you want to kind of be able to see some of it, okay? And you're going to do that. And you're just adding texture and a little bit of cover, trying to not make it as noticeable underneath. Like as if this was an old piece of paper that, okay. Now, I know it looks like a hot mess, guys, but I promise you, it will be really cool when we're done. Okay. All right, I think that's good. All right. Make sure and scrape. If you put too much on, scrape it off. It's no big deal. Okay, and the more texture it has in it, the better. All right, that I think is done, and I'm going to let it sit. It does not take long. Okay, I am going to go ahead and turn the camera off. Let's see how much time we have. We don't have a lot of time left, so we have to hurry up and finish the next spot. So I'm going to go ahead and dry that and come back, and then we will show you the next part of that, okay? So I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back, and our two papers are dry. We've got this one and then this one that we just did. And we're going to go ahead and mess with this one first because it's going to have to dry again. Okay, so we went ahead and did all this, and it kind of looks cool the way it is, but there's still some white in here that I don't like. So what I'm going to do is, this is a mister sprayer. This one's kind of a blotchy one that I use, and then this is a mister, and I'm just going to kind of go up high, and I am just going to spray this. And this is that alcohol ink again. And what that's going to do is it's going to make all that white gesso turn. You have to leave it for a second, because if you wipe it off right away, then you're just wiping it off. So there was no point in doing it. And I don't really wipe that much off. I leave it on and let it puddle. And if you have too much in spots, you can kind of lightly go over it. You want to go very lightly. Otherwise, you're just taking off what you put on, you know. And then let that dry. And it won't take long because it is alcohol ink. So I'm going to put that to the side. And then here's our other one that we did. And you see how white that is? And we can't have that. So you know, you guessed it. We're going to take this and we're going to spray it. And you can see how cool it just, and the really good thing is that it gets into all those cracks and crevices. And all right, so I put a lot on there. I'm gonna let it sit for a minute before I mess with it. Because anyway, and let it kind of puddle in spots and things like that. And I think I missed some right here. It's kind of white. If you miss any, go back in there. You'll be able to tell. All right. And now I'm going to go back in. And I'm just taking a paper towel and lightly going over spots. And that actually adds more texture and color to it. But the reason you wait is that you want the other white spots to get some color. Okay, so I would leave that like that. Now, I'm going to go ahead and work on this, and I'm going to dry it real quick. And if you guys don't like the noise, just turn your sound down. Okay, it doesn't take long to dry because it is alcohol ink. Anyway, so then we're going to go to our next spot on this. And this is where I just stencil texture paste on here. And you could stamp it also, and I have done that. This little red mark, you know what that's from? That is sometimes the paper will bleed through. Now look, see some gesso got on there? Not a big deal, because all you do is you take your little vintage photo or whatever. That's too dark. I mean, that's too much, but you just kind of go in little spots and cover it up. And it actually, see, it just kind of blends in with the paper. So you'll never know. It just adds to the whole little thing. I don't worry about it when you're doing this stuff. There. See, I think it made it look better. Okay, so now we're going to go over here, and we're just going to take this. Oh, I forgot. Where's my little tool? It's back here. If you're going to go ahead and distress it any, you probably would want to do it now, or you could have done it before, but you want to do it before you do the texture paste, because otherwise you're rubbing the texture paste off. You don't have to ink it, but you probably want to do this part because it will just basically kind of, and if you do it the other way, it doesn't really matter. It just makes it look more distressed. But I just do this before. Oh, if it tears like that, that's okay. And that's because it's still a little damp. Also, too, I think I've said this before, I use ivory parchment paper. And the reason I do that for my digitals, it's not pure white. It does dull them a little bit. So be aware of that. You could get white if you don't want to do that. And then the other thing is it's very, it's durable. It's a lot more durable. I don't think you could do all these things to this. I got a spot right there. Let me go like that. Oops. It's not dry all the way. It's what it was. There was a blotch. I don't know if you could do all these things to just regular copying paper. Okay, so this is the stencil I'm using. I don't know what the particular stencil is called, but anyway, it is a Tim Holtz stencil. I have others, but okay. I'm going to take this and kind of put it at somewhat of an angle. I won't use all of the space, but I put it on an angle for the corner. And then I'm going to take my handy dandy tool that we were using for our gesso. It works just as good for this. And I'm just going to take a little bit of this. It doesn't take much. And the one thing you want to do when you do this is you don't want to go, you don't want to go straight across there. Or at least I don't think you do. Because it makes it look, I don't know. It makes it look too perfect, and you don't want perfect. And if pieces are broken up and you don't get it all in there, that's fine. That just makes it look better. Okay, so you want something like that. You don't want it to be straight across. And then let's do this side. Now you realize that there's going to be a line down there, so you're not going to be, there's two separate pages basically. Okay. I had to buy another one of these and another one. There's one of them I can't seem to find, so just because I use them so much. I really do use this constantly. Even just, you know, stenciling on pages or on tags. I do it a lot with the texture paste. I had to get the new ones because I used so much texture paste on them that I've kind of biggered them up. Good idea to clean them right away. Okay, so that's that. And then let me wipe up some of this so it doesn't get on the back. Okay, and then I put a little bit usually on the other corner, because remember this is one page here, okay, and you could just leave it like that, but I put some on the other corner, and I don't put as much, but I just put a little bit. I think design wise it looks better if you bring it all the way. Okay, and then I'm going to do one over here. I might just do this. Do a little bit of this right here. And like I said before, you don't want to do a straight line if you can help it. Okay, now if you want to, you remember this is like half of your page, you could put some in here, and I did that on one. We could do that on here just to show you how. Just be kind of cognizant of where the middle of your page is so that you're kind of putting some on both. There's no wrong way to do this, really. You don't want it on there too thick or it'll take forever to dry. You can always scrape off the extra. Okay, anyway, so what'll happen is when you fold your page, you'll have some on each page, okay? So that's that. I don't really do anything more to that. That will be, you know, a page. The only other thing I would do is when this is dry, I would ink around the edges, and that'll be it. So that is done. And then the last one, let me wipe up some of the gold. The last one, and I'm going to spray this real quick so I can get to it later. Otherwise, I'll have the same situation that I had before. Okay, so the next part on this one is all we're going to do is some embossing. And these work really good for that. All right, they are, I use some Versamark and take this. These are my different stamps that I have, and I'm going to go ahead and ink these up. And I don't care if, oops, if it goes on perfect, because that's kind of the, and I don't use the block. I just use my fingers, and probably I should on this, but I don't, because I'm usually in a hurry. And also, these don't stick anymore. I don't know if y'all have that problem. You can use a glue stick if you want to make them stick, but I just do this. And like if it doesn't for some reason go on perfectly. That actually adds to the effect. Okay, I think, anyway. So the bad thing about this is you have to remember where you did it. Otherwise, you're not gonna. Okay. I can't remember if I don't think I did do down there. So I think I'll do this one. All right, and that's gonna go right there. Okay, I think I did everywhere I need to do. We'll find out. Okay, so let me get my piece of paper up here. And this is Mirror Gold. I don't even know who made this. I've had this for ages. I love Facebook.com. I love Stampania. So anyway, I've had it forever. So okay, so anyway, let's go ahead and do that. I may have to put some more back in here just to do it because I don't know if I have enough to go over the whole thing. Probably don't. Uh-oh, that one didn't. There we go. And for these stamps, you really have to use a fine embossing powder. You can't use a thick one because it will not work. Okay. This stamp doesn't ever, this one in the middle doesn't ever do that great, so. There we go. All right, let me get that back in there. I made the mistake of turning on my heat gun with this sitting right next to me, and if you've ever done that, it makes a huge mess. All right, so we are going to do that. I actually didn't mean to do that one that close, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. It's going to look cool no matter what we do. Over here. I want that to me. Okay. Now the thing is on this, I would still go ahead and you can just use the distress tool after on this. It won't affect it really. And then ink it, and then that would be it on that. So pretty much, guys, that's what all we're going to do this time. Ugh, maybe it's not dry. This takes a while. I leave mine overnight. You don't have to do that long. You can use your heat tool and heat those up. Let me put that to the side. So we did that one too. And then let me show you this over here. Get all of that over here. I don't want them to spill. Okay. So we're going to be using all of these papers. We've got our 2 bags we'll put in there. We've got our 2 little crunchy papers. These other ones, this other one that we did, that we stamped. The ones that we tore, this will go in there. We have a total of 20 pages, okay? That we will be using this when we put our journal together, and then all of these. Now, what I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and I am going to put the journal together. Just going to go ahead and mix these papers up and put them in the journal. Okay, so all of these will go in the journal, plus the one that's still drying. All right, and kind of mix them all up, and then we'll go ahead, when we come back, the journal will all be, you know, sewn in, and then we'll go ahead and decorate the cover, and I'll show you what we're going to do with our little washi tape stuff that we have, okay, and all of our different materials and stuff, and how we're going to incorporate that into the journal, okay, and make it look kind of I don't know, grungy Christmas. Okay, so this is what we're going to use, and I will put all those in the journal, and we will see. Oh, here we go, here we go, here we go. And also, we will decorate this, okay? And this will be what you're going to put the journal in, or you can put your ephemera in it, or whatever you want to do. Either way, it'll work. The other one that I did, I wound up having so much that I couldn't really fit anything in it. But we'll go ahead and get that all taken care of. I'll get it sewn in, and then, you know, after that, we will have a journal and a little, I don't know what your pouch, I guess. And it'll be very pretty and shabby and grungy all in one. Okay, guys? So, and also too, I put wax on this, and I found a really cool way to do it that's super easy. So I'm going to be putting wax on a lot of stuff. Didn't have time to show you that. If I do the next time, then we'll go ahead and do it together. So I don't know if I'm going to be doing this on Friday. If I don't do it on Friday, all of this, then we'll do it next Tuesday, okay? So you guys take care, and I hope that you had a great Thanksgiving or are having one. And I will see you again soon. I'm not either Friday or whatever, Tuesday or Sunday or Saturday, I don't know. Okay, you guys take care. Bye.